up YouTube, Jamie the Kid00 here, coming at you guys with another deck profile for the new April 2015 limited and forbidden list, and that one is going to be Shaddoll's. You guys know this is a good old-fashioned favourite deck of mine, something I've been playing for quite a while now, and it's something I've been having a lot of fun with, on various stages, competitive and non-competitive alike. So I figured, what better deck to bring you guys a revival of? With the new limited and forbidden list, this deck's seen a little bit of an increase in power, of course, with Clyforts going down the pan, to some degree, this deck has seen a bit more love, and it has, of course, had to account in the main deck for Necros, so I figured I'd actually bring you guys this kind of variant of the deck that I've been playing, simply because it's more suited to the metagame right now. And for those of you guys who are still struggling to figure out a way to play your Shaddolls, I'm honestly feeling like this is one of the best variants. So we're going to be jumping straight into the old deck profile. You know how it goes. We don't mess around about here. We don't mess around. We just want to get through our profiles pretty quick. So we're going to start off with the list. We're playing 12 actual Shaddolls. It's quite a few, but in my opinion, they're so damn important, you just have to play them. So we're going to start off with the list with 2 copies of Shaddoll Falco, or Bambola Ombra Falco. This card, I was originally playing 1, but because of its versatility, because of its usefulness with Crush Card Virus, I wanted to go back up to 2. I honestly feel like it's such a solid card anyway that you don't want to hold this indefinitely for your Crush Card Virus. You want to be able to at least have one of these to use, so I wanted to have 2 in the deck, and I'm not regretting playing 2 at all. And then playing 2 Shettenpoop Eagle, or 2 Shaddoll Hedgehog. Shaddoll Hedgehog, of course, our main searcher for the spells, absolutely great. It's another Crush Card target, so that's another reason why I want to play a couple of them. But you want to get to your fusions now, so especially El Shaddoll Fusion, so you can begin to OTK through stuff, and you can push through things like Valkyrus and things like that. Triple Shaddoll Squamata. Double Dragon, because I feel like Dragon isn't that important at the moment. Its destruction isn't that great, but the fact that you can set this guy and it's now to Ginlock is a cool card. And then I'm playing the 3 Beast, which brings us to a grand total of 12 Shaddoll monsters, I believe. So, that brings me to about the end of that. There's not really much else I have to say with regards to the other Shaddoll monsters. They're all pretty standard. They're all pretty standard numbers, so I don't think I'll waste your time kind of talking about the theory behind that. For the rest of the monsters, I am playing the Dragon engine. I'm playing 3 copies of White Dragon, Wyverburstar, one of course isn't super yet because for some reason I don't have 3 supers of this yet, and 1 copy of Black Dragon, Collapserpent. I'm just absolutely in love with these. This is the enemy controller version. They just float so well, especially white into black into white. I just absolutely love these 2 cards, so I'm going to continue to play this engine for a good long while. I can't complain about them. They're just absolutely incredible. And they allow me to make rank 4s, and rank 4s are pretty damn cool, so playing those. Then we play the 3 copies of the Mathematician. I can't complain with this card. I'm considering playing 1 Perero Cerberus, or whatever it was called from Gold Series, because it's an out to Ginlock that this card can send. But as of yet, I'm not really sure how I want to fit it in, and there are a lot better cards I wanted to play. So as of yet, I've not really found the room for it, but I might be teching 1 in. Who knows? You know, things could change in this list, but we're playing the 3 Mathematicians. I'm then playing, as main decked outs to Necros, I'm playing double Kycoo. Kycoo has synergy in this deck because it's a spellcaster, and it's a dark, so it is useful for certain plays, but I just feel like it's such a solid beat stick that you can have in the Necros matchup that you just really honestly want to be main decking it. Necros is so damn popular right now, and it has synergy against other decks that would seek to banish from the grave, so, I mean, worst comes to worst, in the mirror match, you're not going to get BLS'd while this guy's on the board. So, I just absolutely love Kycoo at the moment, so I'm playing him. Similarly, I'm playing double Effect Vader in the main deck, a light, so it synergizes into construct plays. And it's just overall a really, really incredible card. Like, the worst thing for this deck is getting Trishula'd. In all honesty, you're going to leave established boards. That's just a given. And the worst thing for you is getting Trishula'd. So between the Veilers and the Giant Hand, I'm honestly just trying my best to not get Trishula'd. So that's why I picked this up. And that's why these are in the main. Like, just because you don't want to get Trished, you need those outs to it. So there you go, the double Veiler, and then we're playing the 1 BLS because we are playing a large number of lights in the main deck, so we want to be playing this big guy because he's absolutely insane. Just a win condition in and of himself. So that was the complete monster lineup. For the spells, we're playing the Raigeki and the Book of Moon as the outs to the Ginlock. Massive board clearance, the Book of Moon just being an incredibly, incredibly versatile card. Pair that Book of Moon with the 3 copies of enemy controller in the deck, and we have some really, really versatile threat removal. These cards, these 2 cards in tandem, so these 4, just do so much work to remove threats and push through for OTKs. You can use your enemy controller, of course, to push through your opponent's Valkyrus. If they use the Valkyrus when they have a monster out, you can just tribute off the monster they're Valking, so that you can then take their monster and proceed to go in with their own monster if they're silly enough to do that. And then the Book of Moon, of course, gets you around other certain situations. And of course, as I said before, it's the out to the Jinlock. There's just so much more you can do with these cards. Then with regards to kind of the other spells we play, I do play the 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion. I'm tinkering between 3 and 2, but I honestly went back to a third one of these because I have been seeing more versatile threats in the meta right now. I have been seeing a lot more extra deck based decks. While Necros is very popular, I'm currently playing on a local level testing before Nats, so this third one is a lot more useful at the local level. So you want to have this in the possibly want to swap it out for something else as we head towards a more competitive climate, but at this time 3 of that is perfect. I'm then playing the 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion because pushing through for the OTK is absolutely great, and this card just helps you do it. And then finally, the last spell I'm playing is 2 copies of Mask Change, which is a card which I feel is ridiculously strong right now. It single-handedly outs so many decks. It's so strong against Necros, because Dark Law is so good at stopping their searches. And it's so good against Necros because Dark Law is so good at keeping everything banished. So you're basically playing your own main deck macro. Equally, the Dark Law is just as strong in other situations, such as situations in the mirror match and against other decks like Burning Abyss that are still trying to make their way in the game. So I feel like Mask Change 2, simply because of our access to Dark Law, is just so important at the moment. And whatever monster this sends off, it will trigger. So if this sends off a Shaddoll monster, it will trigger that guy. So the Mask Change 2s are a pretty substantial asset in this. And that rounds off the spells. It just brings us through to the 3 traps we play in the deck at the moment, and those 3 are Shaddoll Core, because you guys know I have a huge love for Shaddoll Core. I'm never going to cut this card completely. I think it's absolutely incredible. Then I'm playing the 1 Ring of Destruction. Again, another out to Jinlock, and the most important thing about this card in this deck is that this deck has such a huge OTK combo potential that putting your opponent down by a huge amount of, potentially huge amount of damage with this puts you so much closer to OTKing them. It's ridiculous. So this card is so good for that capacity. And then we have the Crush card Virus. Honestly, if you open Mathematician or Falco or Hedgehog, you win. It's just pure and simple. If you use this at the correct time against your opponent by sending Falco or Hedgehog, I only say Mathematician because Mathematician can set up that Falco. If you use this at the correct time, you should just win, just outright. So I absolutely love this card. It's stupidly blowout. Simply because of just what it can rip out of your opponent's hand and field. Like, you don't honestly care about the 3 that it sends from deck that much, unless you're playing the mirror match, in which case it can cause you a few problems, and there are certain issues with the hieratic deck and things like that. But otherwise, this card is insane. Like, this card will, you don't really have to care about the 3 cards your opponent's going to send from the deck, because you're already going to blow out their field ridiculously. So, Crush card, absolutely insane. I cannot complain with regards to that. And that rounds off the main deck completely. We're going to move through the extra deck. I'm going to start off with, of course, the delicious tokens. Like, you've just got to start off with these delicious tokens. You've seen them in my Necros deck profile, but I mean, look at these Duelist Kingdom tokens, and this Giant Hand Proxy that Rescue Cat Duelist hooked me up with, and World Championship tokens, and Yugi looking absolutely swaggy, and then this thing. I don't know, I'm just feeling random and going through the tokens that chill at the back of my extra deck at the moment. Absolutely love them, so I just want to show them off. With regards to the extra deck, we're playing 3 copies of Shaddoll Construct. This card is absolutely insane. If you don't know what it does, have a look at it, because it just does so much. 2800 body, kills everything that's special summoned if it's battling with it, so it's just so good. Absolutely love this card. Double Shaddoll Winda. I'd honestly play 3 if there was room for 3, but there's just no room for the 3rd in the extra deck, so we're having to make do with 2. Really locking down some of your more combo-oriented special summon decks. Really situational against Fire Fist, but it's been having some effective situations, especially if you can set up the out to the Xyz monster they might be able to make if they find Tensu. But it's absolutely incredible against that because it's so hard to move. I've been testing Fire Fist, and this is so hard to move if you can't Tensu play. So that's a thing. And then the last Shaddoll Fusion I'm playing is 1 Shaddoll Shekhinaga, because this in and of itself is an out to the Trishula, and I'm honestly considering cutting something in this extra deck to play the second Shekhinaga, because you need that out to the to the Trishula, and in all honesty, the next card I'm going to show you guys, I would more than likely cut for another Shekhinaga if it wasn't such an interesting card to have just come out in the new set. So moving through, we do have a few more fusions in the extra deck, and the next card I play is one Masked Hero Anki. Anki is something I'm testing simply because if you can get the play correct, you can set up a Mask Change in your turn to make Anki stick over your opponent's monster, and then search a new Mask Change 2 and set that Mask Change 2 if you have another Dark, and then you can make Anki and Masked Hero Dark Law all in basically the space of two different player turns. So it's something that I'm having a little bit of fun with, but at the same time it's so damn situational. I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I would honestly consider cutting it for the second Shekhinaga, just because the second Shekhinaga has a lot more synergy in this deck at the moment. So the one Anki, and then there is of course the two Dark Law that I praised so highly earlier on. There's not much more I can say on this card. It's massively hyped. Everyone knows why. It's a Macrocosmos on legs, and it has a huge effect on people searching as well. So Dark Law just a really impressive card in the metagame right now. And that rounds off the fusions we play. We play a lot of them, more than some hero decks in all honesty. Then for the synchros, I'm only playing the Dark Strike Fighter and the Leo. The Dark Strike Fighter, of course, to assist us with the OTK potential of the deck. And the Leo, just because he's so damn huge and so damn immovable, like, you still have to play this card because it's so hard to kill. Especially if you're able to protect it with, like, the Giant Hand or the Veiler from the Trishula, which is about the only thing in the metagame which can kill this just instantly. You're in pretty safe hands. And then we move through to the actual Exciton. We're only playing 4 because there's literally no room. I'm playing the one Evilswarm Exciton Knight because the blowout this card can potentially set up is massive, so you still have to play this just because of the amount of advantage it can generate you. The one number 106 Giant Hand, it's unfortunate that I feel you have to play this in the metagame right now, but it's just such an important out to Trishula and other effect-based monsters on the board. Of course, Trishula I'm going to continue to go on about because it's such an enormous threat. It's the most horrifying thing to play against with this deck. And you just need a single out to that. It's also the out to the Manju, the Senju, and other effect-based monsters that you just want dead. So, Giant Hand, it's just our way of basically playing Fiendish Chain in the extra deck. This, in my opinion, is so important because you have to play in trapless decks or near trapless decks. You have to play as many versatile outs to other situations. And in my opinion, the fact that you can make a Fiendish Chain in the form of rank 4, I mean, necessitates that you should use this if you're able to use it. So that's why I'm playing that. The One Abyss Dweller, you should know why this is here, and then the one Castell for kind of the varied removal. So that brings me to about the end of this one. I've definitely been having a good bit of fun with this. It's still a very theory brew based deck. I think that will have been very apparent in the way I've talked about it throughout, but I hope you've all enjoyed. I've definitely had a good bit of fun talking about this and kind of going through it. So as per usual, this is Jamie the Kid 00. If you didn't already know, please, as per usual, leave a like at the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of the same. Share this with your friends if you think they'd benefit from it, and feel free to leave me a comment down below if there's anything you want to say to me, standard pimpage and all that. Otherwise, this is Jamie the Kid 00 for about the 4th time, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.